So we are going to start at the front of our mats, and we'll get into those other stretches more towards our cool down. Because I am finding that works really nicely because we're nice and warm when we do our hip openers and our side twists and side bends and things. So whilst we are starting with the slightly bigger movements, just remembering not to put pressure on yourself. We're not warm yet. This is your opportunity to get warm. So be gentle, bend the knees as much as you need to, and yeah, let's begin. So feet together at the top of the mat, squeezing the bum forward, rib cage is pulling in, and roll those shoulders back. Pull the fingers down the thighs. So you might find if your shoulders are slightly forward rounded, the arms dangle out in front of the body. So you want to roll those shoulders back and actively pull the hands along the thighs, pulling the ribs in and pulling the hips up. You can have a slight bend in the knees if comfortable, otherwise slight activation, drawing the kneecaps up the thighs whilst the bum pulls the backs of the thighs downwards, and a little bit of a hamstring activation as well. And we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in here, becoming present, arriving on your mat, and just becoming a little bit more in tune with what's going on in your body, and specifically with your breath and your breathing. So we're taking some slow and controlled breaths, filling up right into the base of the lungs, scooping right down to the belly. As you inhale, feel the ribcage expanding. And then as you exhale, squeezing it out, using all of those accessory muscles for your breathing, so the ribs pull in, squeezing tight into the abdominals. And inhale, deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, starting to warm up that thoracic area. As you breathe in, also take note that your lungs connect onto the back, onto your spine as well. So at each inhale, you might feel a little bit of that stretch down the spine too. As the ribs stretch apart and the ribs are attached to the spine, you're starting to warm up the spine as well. And how amazing that just by breathing, your body starts to warm up. The flow of the breath, getting that blood flow. Okay, we're going to drop the chin towards the chest. If you'd like to flutter your eyes open, if they were closed, feel free to do so. And then we're going to round the shoulders forwards and then curving the body in to reach your hands towards the floor. So you want that belly button pulling in towards the spine as you curl all the way down. Chin is still tucked in towards the chest, so it's the crown of the head pulling towards the floor. And then tucking that tailbone and round and roll your way all the way up. Pulling up from the tailbone, curling through the lower back, mid back, upper back. Roll those shoulders open and chin parallel to the ground. We're going to do 2 more of those, tucking the chin in. Allow the shoulders to fall forward, curling through that upper back, pulling belly button in to help you curl through the lower back. Tilting tailbone forwards and up as the arms reach towards the ground. And then you can keep those knees quite bent. It changes the stretch, but it's still quite nice. Tuck the tailbone and roll all the way up. So remember, wherever is tightest, we'll stretch first. And if you want to focus your stretch in a different point of tightness, that's totally up to you. Roll the shoulders back, chin parallel to the ground. And last one, tucking the chin in. Allow the shoulders to fall forwards, curving the body in on itself as the arms pull you towards the floor. Crown of the head is heavy towards the ground, looking towards those legs. And we're just going to stay here at the bottom for a moment. You can play around with bent knees and straight legs, and you can bend one at a time, maybe walk in dog, but in your forward fold instead of a downward dog. Feel those hips shifting side to side. And then come to settle, knees pretty level with one another, and then we're gently going to sway from side to side. Those arms moving along the mat or just in front of the legs if you're not quite all the way down. And then come to settle in the middle. Tuck the tailbone and roll all the way up. Pulling belly button in. Curling through the spine. And roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers above the head and press the palms towards the ceiling. Pulling the arms back behind the ears as you squeeze the hips forward. So we're not arching into the lower back, we're protecting the lower back and opening up the chest into the upper back. And then we're going to exhale, fold forwards. Swan diving those arms if comfortable. We're going to bend those knees, reach the arms around the backs of the calves, slide those fingers down towards the ankles and tuck the elbows behind the knees or on the calves if you're really low. And then you're going to keep your tummy connected to your thighs, chin is tucked in so we're not taking strain in the back of the neck. And we're gently going to straighten out those knees. And then allow them to softly bend. And straighten and bend. Working with however loose those hammies are feeling for the morning. 2 more. And bend. And straighten. And bend. Keeping those knees slightly bent, we're going to brush the fingertips along the ground, reach the arms forwards and up, and sink into your chair. Let's place the palms together, pull the arms back behind the ears, and pull those knees back behind the toes. Gentle tuck in the tailbone, and warming and waking up those quads, and hopefully the glutes as well. Sink it a little bit deeper, just because you can. And exhale, straighten the legs, swan dive all the way down. Arms are heavy towards the ground, chin tucks in so the crown of the head is pointed towards the floor. This is a new habit. We've gone through the shoulders away from ears, now we go chin tucked in. Tuck tailbone, roll up one vertebra at a time, all the way to standing. Feel the pelvis pulling you upright as you curl through the spine. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach the arms up and up overhead. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms towards the sky, pull the arms back behind the ears, again squeezing the hips forwards, opening up the chest. And exhale, swan dive and folding forwards. Hopefully those hammies are feeling a little looser and those hands are getting a little closer towards the ground. Bending the knees, placing the hands flat to the floor, right foot steps back. We're just going to do 2 cycles with no lunges. So hands strong on the floor, left foot steps back. Holding your plank. Pushing the heels back, shoulders are over the wrists, and pull those shoulders away from the ears. You're going to press your hands into the earth so your body floats away from the ground. So we're not just collapsed into those shoulders, we're pressing strong into the ground. If holding your planks for too long, it gets a bit intense, feel free to drop your knees across the ankles, but make sure your tailbone is tucked. Leave a nice straight line from your knees through your hips to your shoulders. You're still holding plank. If your wrists are starting to take strain, you can work on your fists. Ideally, palms sort of turned in towards one another. But tuck that thumb out of the way so you don't hurt the thumb joint. We're going to drop the knees towards the floor, keeping the tailbone tucked. We're going to lower chin and chest, hips stay off the ground, and then lying flat onto the floor. Hands are underneath the shoulders, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, elbows pull in towards the hips. Chin tucks in, neck is neutral. Inhale, squeeze the chest away from the ground, float the hands away from the floor into your baby cobra. Chin is tucked in, drawing out through the crown of the head to lengthen through the neck. And release the hands down to the ground. Tuck those toes, pull the hips back towards the heels, stretching out the soles of the feet, stretching out those underarms into the lats, into the rib cage. And then lift the hips up, gentle downward facing dog. Heels are sinking down, arms are pressing overhead, knees are pulling straight. And as usual, crown of the head towards the floor, well, towards the hands really. And then we're gently going to walk the feet to the front of the mat. Bending the knees as much as you need to. And then we're going to straighten the legs, inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up, palms to touch, interlace the fingers, pull the arms up and back as the palms press towards the wall behind you. Hips are squeezed forwards, opening up that chest. Exhale, swan dive and folding forwards. Inhale, we're going to brush the fingers along the ground so you've got a chair pose to warm up to the other side. Reach the arms up, sink the bum down. Tuck tailbone, Pull your rib cage in as well so your ribs are not popping out, especially as the arms lift up. You might find you have a tendency to flare out the rib cage, but activate into those abdominals to pull the ribs in. And exhale, swan dive, folding forwards. Bend the knees, placing the hands onto the ground. Left foot steps back. Nice big step into a high lunge on the right knee. And then right foot steps back into a plank. We're going to hold for 10 more seconds. Pretend that first one was 10 seconds too. Shoulders pull down away from the ears, pressing the hands into the earth so the body floats away from the floor. Press the heels back, tucking that tailbones. There's no arching, relaxing in the lower back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering the knees, twist the elbows in, lower chin and chest, all the way down to the ground. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. You're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back together as the hands float away from the floor. Pull the shoulders down, elbows pull in towards the hips, opening up the chest. And exhale, drop it down. Tuck the toes, pull the hips back to the heels. Stretch out those arms out ahead of you. Feel those shoulder blades lengthening out of the rib cage. And then lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Heels sink towards the floor. Push the arms overhead. Neck is neutral. And then gently walking the feet to the front of the mat. Feet together, ankles touching, big toes touching. If comfortable, we're just going to roll up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Power the head towards the floor, tucking through the tailbone, curling through the spine. Arms are heavy to help that upper back stay rounded until the last moment with the inhale. Roll the shoulders back. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer. Let's inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. Palms to touch, index or interlace the fingers, index fingers point towards the sky. Straighten the arms, or you lean over to the left-hand side. Pulling the right arm out of that right rib cage, making sure you're not collapsing forwards. And then drawing it up and over to the right-hand side, pushing into that left hip and those arms pull away. Drawing it up, pull the arms back behind the ears as much as you can. And then swing the arms out to the side, stay standing, reach the arms around back, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders open, and we're just going to pull the hands down towards the ground with the chest opens up. You can gently drop your head back. It doesn't mean stick your head forwards and look up with your eyes straining. Think about lifting the head and arching open, creating space across the front vertebra. And then pull the hands away from the body behind you. Opening up the chest. Gentle stretch through your shoulders. If you can get those palms to touch, go ahead. Challenging yourself. Otherwise, just holding those hands interlace to start. We're going to release the hands. Inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. And exhale, swan diving, folding forwards. Inhale, up, halfway lift to tabletop. So you're straightening out the spine. Tip that pelvis forward as you squeeze the shoulder blades back together. Drawing out through the crown of the head, lengthening the neck as you pull those shoulders down away from the ears. The more you tuck out of that tailbone, or pelvis tilts forward, the more you're going to feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe right down into the calves if that's particularly tight. And then we're going to bend the knees, brush the fingers along the ground, nice and deep as you reach the arms forward and up, palms to touch. Tailbone tucks, rib cage in, arms move back. Pull the knees behind the toes. Bringing the hands down to heart center. We're going to take right elbow to the outside of the left knee. So we're twisting into our chair. The lower you squat and the more you compress into your tummy, the easier it should be to get that elbow there. You're going to push the hands together to open up the chest. So you want the hands at heart center once more. Try not to allow one knee to jut forwards with the other. If possible, keep those knees squeezing together. And then we're going to place the balance into the left foot. If you want to come up to your chair once more, because it's too difficult to balance, that's fine. And we're going to take a step back with your right foot. All the way back. So right foot steps back. We're lunging into a twisted high lunge with the left foot forward, left knees directly above left toe. And then you're going to reach the arms up, coming into a standing position. Arms pull overhead, back heel is off the ground. We're lunging nice and low. Tailbone tucks, tummies engaged. We're going to fold forwards, reaching the arms down to the ground. Right hand places under right shoulder, left arm reaches towards the sky. Using your right arm as strength and leverage to pull the body open. To pull that right shoulder back as you open up the chest. And left fingers are reaching directly up towards the ceiling. Try not to let the arm just flop backwards. Take note of your top to bottom alignment. The lower you get those hips, the easier it is to use that arm to help balance. If your hips are really high, the arm can't help you and your front leg's going to be working really, really hard, which is not a bad thing. I'm not against working. So release the left hand down to the outside of the foot, strong into those arms, we step back to plank. Should be getting nice and warm now. If you'd like to drop the knees, feel free to do so. Otherwise, full chaturanga, keep those elbows tucked in. And tuck the toes, we press gently up for full cobra. Roll the shoulders back, chest opens up. Tops of the feet are flat. Pull your belly button away from the floor to help protect the lower back. We're just going to take a moment here as well. So steady the breath. In the past, we've spoken about relaxing your glutes in this position to help protect the lower back. But it's not so much the glutes that are the problem. You should feel free to squeeze the glutes as much as you like. But what tends to happen is you tend to crank into the lower back muscles to pull yourself up, which is not a good thing for those vertebrae on the lower back. So squeezing the glutes can take some of the strain off, provided you're pulling the tummy muscles in to protect that lower back. Triceps should be working really hard right about now. So you want to relax those lower back muscles and pull your belly button away from the floor. We're going to tuck those toes, pull the hips back towards the heels, stretching out those arms, allowing those triceps to relax. Deep breaths, feeding those muscles with the oxygen they're politely asking for. And then lift the hips up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Arms pushing overhead, sinking the heels down as much as comfortable. First priority here is the straight legs. So if you straighten the legs and the heels are way off, that's totally fine. But once those legs are straight, then you want to start working the heels towards the ground. We're going to take the right foot up towards the sky, keeping the hips closed. So both hip bones are pointing towards the floor. You don't want to twist the hips open, not just yet, that will come up later. You're going to lift the bum to our left toes, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Hold your plank briefly, squeezing up as much as you can. The more you push your hands into the earth, the more space you have to step that foot to the front of the mat. Just some little tips along the way whilst your arms are fresh. So remember, the more you protract, the more space you have. Right knee directly above right ankle. You're going to reach the arms up, lunging through that front leg. Keep the back heel away from the floor and then knee is fully straight. Arms are turned in. Lunge a little lower if you're comfortable. Make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. Folding forwards, hands to the ground. You're going to drop the back knee towards the floor, untuck the back foot, and reach the arms up, sinking down, keeping tailbone tucked so we get a really good stretch across that hip flexor. And we're going to fold forwards, one hand either side of the front foot. We're going to pull the hips back, point the right toes, and folding onto that right extended leg. So the more you point that right foot, the more stretch you're going to get across the top of the foot. Trying to straighten out the spine as much as possible. Shuffling for the hands forward as you come forwards into your lunge. One hand either side of the front foot. We're going to tuck the toes with the back leg, lift the knee, and float the foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Interlace the fingers, index fingers pointing upward, and reach the arms behind the head. Leaning over to the left hand side, pushing into the right hip, stacking the shoulders. And up and over to the right hand side, pulling out of the ribcage. Throwing it up, pull the arms back behind the head. And exhale, swan dive, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift to tabletop position. Straightening out the legs, nice flat back. Your morning cappuccino. Balance it nicely on there without spilling. Exhale, fold forwards, bend the knees, brush the fingertips on the ground, reach the arms forwards and up into your chair pose. Palms to touch, down to heart center. Drop those shoulders, open chest. We're going to take left elbow to the outside of the right knee this time, pushing the palms together to twist the spine. Sinking, getting nice and snug into that twist. Placing the weight into the right leg, we're going to send the left foot backwards onto the ball of the left foot. Right knee directly above right ankle. And then reach the arms up, untwisting into your high lunge. And folding forwards. Left hand directly underneath left shoulder. Right arm reaches towards the ceiling. Make sure your right knee is not collapsing open. You want to keep it above the ankle, using those inner thigh muscles. Right arm reaches towards the ceiling. Shoulders are down away from the ears, using the supporting arm to help you twist through the spine to help you stack those shoulders a little easier. Release the right hand to the ground. Both hands are strong onto the floor. And the same thing applies. The more you press the hands into the earth, the more space you have to lift that leg and step back to plank. Knees are straight unless they're bent. It's like the Corona rules at the moment. You've heard of that, I'll share the link later. Dropping the knees, chin and chest, all over, chaturanga down, all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes, press up for cobra. If comfortable, otherwise baby cobra is still fine. Or if you want something in between, you can have the elbows underneath the shoulders, chest open, head retracts. Your sphinx pose. Top step, open up that chest, gentle pressure through that upper back. Tuck the toes, pull the hips back towards the heels, stretching out the soles of the feet. Melting tummies to thighs, stretching out those arms. Feel them lengthen away. And then lift the hips up, down, facing down. Left foot lifts up towards the ceiling. Remember not to open those hips, keep them closed. It's all about the winding around those hip sockets. And then lift up onto your right toes. Bring your left knee in towards your chest and step that foot to the front of the mat. We're going to drop the right knee down to the ground and flip that right foot. Reach the arms up and sink the hips down. Arms are turned in, shoulders are down. And we've got a high lunge here, but we'll get back to it in a moment. Folding forwards, one hand either side of the front foot. We're going to pull the hips back, point the left toes, straighten the left knee as you extend your chest towards your shin. Shifting the body forwards, one hand either side of the front foot, tuck the toes, lift the knee, and strong through the left leg, we press up to the high lunge that we almost forgot. Palms turned in, shoulders down. Tuck that tailbone so we're not collapsing the lower back. The hip flexors on that right leg, they do attach into the back portion of the body. So if you allow the back to go with the stretch or be pulled, you're not necessarily getting the stretch because they're just staying the same length. So use your tummy muscles to pull your pelvis upright to increase that stretch over that hip flexor. Folding forward, one hand either side of the front foot, step the feet to the top of the mat. Straightening out the legs, inhale, reverse one leg all the way up. Palms to touch, and down to heart center. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away, reach the arms up, overhead, squeeze the hips forward. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards, bend the knees, place the hands to the ground, right foot steps back. Drop the right heel down to 45 degrees. We're going to cartwheel up, warrior two. So right hand sends to the back of the mat. Left knee is open over the left ankle. Right knee is straight. So really drawing that kneecap up the thigh, flexing into that quad. Working to the outside edge of that right foot. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Double check the arms are in line with one another and parallel to the ground. You might find as those shoulders drop, the arms tend to drop too, but try not to allow that to happen. Keep those arms floating up. Right knee is squeezed open. Your bum muscle controls that, so feel that squeeze in the hip helps you to open up that knee. Taking the right hand down to the right calf, so we're dropping backwards. Left arm reaches overhead towards the back of the mat. Turn the palm to face the ground as you sink into those hips. Reverse your warrior. Without losing that front leg lunge, tempting as it might be. Floating back up, warrior two. The last bit of hard work for this posture, we're going to bend that left elbow, place it onto the left thigh. The right arm reaches overhead, palm turned to face the ground. Stacking that chest open, or stacking the shoulders to the chest open. So this is your extended side ankle, so straight line from the ankle through the hip, out of the shoulder, into that right arm. The breathing is really important here. Your muscles are definitely asking for it. Floating back up to warrior two. And cartwheeling either side of the front foot, roll to the ball of the back foot, step back to plank. We're going to mix it up a little bit here. If you're comfortable and would rather stick to your normal chaturanga and cobra, feel free to do so. Baby cobra is also good, and so is your sphinx. But for those who are wanting to try it for today, because we haven't done it in a while, we're going to do upwards facing dog. So, you can chaturanga or you can lower the knees, that's fine. You're going to press forward, tuck those toes, and float the knees off the ground. Straight elbows. So you're hovering just on the feet, just on the hands. If you'd like to work back into your cobra, while you're connected to the earth, elbows bent, that's fine too. But if you want to feel what it's like, you've got opening up those shoulders, squeezing those knees straight so you're floating off the ground. Tuck the toes, lift the hips straight up and back, downwards facing dog, arms are pressing overhead. We're going to place the big toes together at the back of the mat. We're going to open up the knees to the edges of the mat. Untuck those toes, sink the bum down, child's pose. It's your opportunity to rest and recover. Hips are sinking down to the heels, arms are extended out ahead of you. We're going to walk the hands over to the left-hand side. Your tummy's on the left thigh, arms extended away. We're going to feel a stretch down the right arm into the right shoulder blade, all the way into the rib cage. And if you're very tight, you might feel this into your right lower back as well, which is your QL, your quadratus lumborum. The nice little fleshy bit between the rib cage and the pelvis. Where you might think your kidneys are, pretty much around that area. Walking your hands over to the right hand side. Sort of a 10 past 2 position. Arms extend away whilst the hips continue to pull back. Neck is relaxed. Coming back to center. And then lift the hips, tuck the toes, push the arms overhead as you draw back to your diamond facing dog. Ready for some warrior two on the other side. So right foot lifts up towards the ceiling. Closed hips. Lift up onto your left toe. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Step foot to the front of the mat. Right knee is directly above right ankle. If you need to use your hand to get it there, please do. Drop the back heel down. Cartwheel up, warrior two. Left hand extends to the back, right hand extends to the front. Shoulders are down, palms are facing the floor. Right knee is open over the right ankle. Tuck that tailbone as well so your bum is not sticking out. You're not overarching through that lower back. We pull it up, we open the knee. Hips are open. Working into the outside edge of that left foot, drawing that left kneecap up the quad. And try not to fall forwards towards that front leg. I'm going to drop that left hand back towards the left calf. Right arm reaches over, palm facing the floor. Reverse warrior. Keep that right knee lunging. Cartwheel back up through your warrior two. Right elbow to right knee, left arm reaches overhead, extending through those fingertips. Keep the hips sinking low. Draw back up, warrior two. And cartwheel down either side of the front foot. Roll to the ball of the back foot. Step to the front of the mat. Feet together. Inhale, reverse one, double all the way up. Palms to touch. Down to heart center. Open up the chest and shoulders. Hands remain together. Keeping those ankles squeezing together. Knees are pretty straight unless you have to bend them, which is totally fine. We're going to lift up onto our toes. Heels float off the ground. And we're just going to hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. We're going to do one more. But this time, if you're up for a challenge for today, you're going to close the eyes. So closing the eyes, put your awareness into those toes, feet, ankles. And if you want to do it with your eyes open, that's also fine. If you want to try it with the closed eyes and then you open your eyes because it's really difficult, that's also cool because it is really difficult. So keeping those legs squeezing together, slowly squeezing the heels off the ground. Taking notes of your body swaying all over the place. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower the body down. It's so much harder with the eyes closed. Terrible. Okay, you're going to reach the arms up, pull them overhead. Exhale, swan dive, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift to tabletop, straight back, straight legs. Exhale, fold forwards, bend the knees, brush the fingertips on the ground, reach the arms up. And exhale, swan dive, folding forwards, bend the knees, place the hands, left foot steps back. Drop the left heel down to 45 degrees. We're just going to come straight up to warrior one. So arms reach forwards and up. Keeping those hips close towards the front of the mat. Back knees pulling straight, right knees lunging deep. Palms are turned in. Exhale, folding forwards, facing the hands to the ground, then walk those fingertips forwards. You can roll to the ball of the back foot, and you're going to press through that right knee to lift the left heel up just parallel to the ground. Straightening the right knee as much as comfortable, but feel free to keep it bent if it means you can keep the hands on the floor. And if you want to float the hands off the ground so you can straighten that supporting leg, that's also a fantastic idea. Now that those ankles are a little warmer from practicing balance. You're going to bend that right knee, drop the left toes to the ground, reach the arms up, high lunge. You're not spending too much time there today. Folding forwards, one hand either side of the front foot. We're going to step back to plank. And we're going to drop one elbow, then the other elbow down to the ground. So we're still in a plank, but we're in an elbow plank. Elbows should be slightly wider than the shoulders because we're going to cross the elbows or forearms parallel to one another. Again, if you need to drop those knees, that's fine. So your forearms are parallel to the front edge of the mat. You're going to drop the heels over to the right hand side and then lift the left hand off the ground into a side plank on your right elbow, keeping the hips squeezing away from the floor. Again, if you need to drop that right knee, that's totally fine. You're still working that right oblique and that right shoulder. You're going to swivel back onto those toes, drop the left elbow to the ground, still parallel to one another and the front edge of the mat. Dropping both heels to the left, swiveling onto the left elbow, right arm comes up. Drop the left knee if you need to. And then swiveling back through to center. Parallel those forearms to one another and perpendicular to the front of the mat. Drop the knees, drop the tummy, and flat to the ground. We're going to cross the right arm underneath the chest. The closer you get it to the body, the nicer the back extension, and the easier it will be to grab your foot. You're going to bend that left leg, reach the left hand around, grab the ankle, and pull the heel alongside the hip. If you can get your hand on top of the foot, that's great. With the fingers running up the shin and the heel of the hand by the toes, which helps you to get a really nice leverage and opens up that chest and shoulder really nicely. Squeezing your pelvis in towards the floor to increase the stretch and to protect the lower back. Releasing that left foot down gently, left arm crosses underneath the chest. Right leg bends, reach around with the right hand, grab the top of the foot and pull the heel alongside the hips. Opening up that right shoulder. You can twist towards that leg as well, so it's a gentle spinal twist if you need it. Then just press the hips and pelvis in towards the floor. And releasing the foot down to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to tuck those toes, pull the hips back towards the heels, stretch out the arms, and then lift the hips up to your downward facing dog. We're going to lift up onto our toes and do 2 ripples to plank. So lift, tighten tummy, roll the body forwards into your plank. Shoulders move over the wrists. And then press back, downward facing dog. Lift, roll forwards into plank, and then back to downward facing dog. And then I suppose you've got half a bonus one. So then lift, roll forwards into plank. Drop the heels to the right hand side. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. If you want to drop that right knee down, that's fine. Please do so. Support the body. Then we're going to take that left hand. So we've done thread the needle in your box position before, but now we're just intensifying it a little bit. We're going to do 3 thread the needles. You can keep that bottom knee on the ground, especially for balance. You're going to take that top arm, reach it through, winding the body up, and then unwinding as you open up and stack those shoulders. If your legs are straight, just a nice balance challenge. Reach it through, number 2 out of 3, and open it up. And last one, reach through and open up. Place that left hand on the ground, lift that right knee, if it was down, roll through your plank. Press back, down dog. Place toes together, knees apart. Untuck those toes, sink the body back. Extended child's pose to allow both arms to rest as you prepare for the other side. Lift the body up, tuck the toes, lift the knees, press the arms over. Downward facing dog. We're going to lift up onto our toes, tighten the tummy, roll forwards to plank just once, because we've done plenty of prep for the other side, from the other side. Drop the heels over to the left. Drop the left knee if necessary. Right arm reaches up. Stacking those shoulders, we're going to reach that right arm underneath the left armpit. And open up. Stack it open. And reach. And open. Remember that knee can be down throughout. And we reach. And open up. You're going to lift the knee, hand to the ground, roll back to your plank. Lift to downward facing dog. Which leg did we do? Left leg lift. Lift up onto your right toes. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. Step the left foot forward. Reach the arms up. High lunge. Oh wait, no. We're going to drop the right heel down to 45 degrees. Warrior one. Carry away with all those planks, and I can't remember what legs. So hopefully we're on the right side. If you do know that we did the other side, please feel free to do the other side. We're going to fold forwards, hands to the ground, shuffle those fingertips forward. We're going to lift that right heel up to the side, parallel to the ground. Straightening that left leg if possible, lifting the hands to heart center if comfortable, or just to allow the leg to straighten. Bending the right leg, drop the back foot down, reach the arms up, high lunge, and fold forwards. Step the feet to the front of the mat. Feet are together. Inhale, tuck the tailbone, roll your way up, all the way to standing, and roll the shoulders back. Whew, we have one more exercise. I'm going to skip out some of the others because it's been a really intense class so far. We're going to come sort of to the center of the mat, or just to a comfortable spot where you can see the camera. If you're really comfortable with the camera out in front of you, no big deal. So we're going to place the balance into the right leg also, squashing the knee down. Other leg. Okay, so we're going to call this the right leg. Left leg crosses over the right knee, and then if possible you're going to tuck the toe around the calf. Otherwise, you can put the toe just on the ground and squat into your eagle legs like that. If the legs are feeling super flexible, wrap the toe around the calf. Feel free to hold on to a wall or a chair if there's one around. You're going to reach the arms out to the sides. And then we're going to cross them in front of the body. Take the left elbow over the right elbow, bending both forearms up, and if you can, grasp the hands. That's where we'd like to land. Okay, and then you can stay there for 5 counts. Otherwise, you can join me in some eagle crunches. Eagle crunches, not evil crunches. Okay, so you're going to take those elbows down towards the knee and lift the body up. Again, if you need that toe on the ground, that's fine. Sporting ankle is going to be doing a lot of work. So we reach down for 2 and up, 3 and up, 4, 3 would have been good too, and 5 and up. Straighten the leg, place the foot down, untuck the arms, reach the arms around back, interlace the fingers, open up the chest, and shake out those legs. And ready for the other side. So placing the weight into the left leg. I know my camera's all mirrored and stuff, so it's, never really know which one's really right. Left knee crosses over right knee. And then tuck the toe behind you if comfortable. Reach the arms out. And then we're going to cross right elbow over left elbow. Wrap the arms into the biggest pretzel you can. Keep the hands away from the face and keep the elbows lifted away from the body. And we fold for 5 and lift. 4, remember those toes can support you on the ground. 3, 2, it is a core exercise, so make sure you fold into your core. And last, 1 and lift. Straighten the legs, Feet down, lengthen the arms around the back, interlace the fingers, roll the chest open. Pull the hands away from the bum. And relax. We're going to grab a seat in the center of the mat. Legs extended out in front of you. Arms extended. Drop those shoulders. Lengthen through the spine and fold them forwards. If you can grasp those feet, feel free to do so. Otherwise, those calves work just as well to pull you forwards. The gravity should do the trick as well. As you sit up, draw your right foot in towards the place of sole on the left inner thigh. Pushing the right knee open so the hip opens up. Extend the arms and fold them forwards to that left leg. Again, neck is relaxed, drawing out to the crown of the head. And release, sitting up, taking the bent leg, crossing it over the extended leg. So right foot crosses over left. I'm going to wrap the left arm around the knee, pull the knee towards that opposite shoulder, and then right hand to the ground behind you, propping yourself up tall and winding it out. I'm going to use that right hand behind you to twist the spine and use the left elbow to pull the knee towards the shoulder. Keeping your right glute connected to the floor. Try and get your tummy to the outside of your right thigh, or your right sit bone, shall I say, should stay connected to the floor. So you're getting a really good glute stretch on the right side. And release, extending your right leg out ahead of you, and left foot comes in. Placing the left sole to the right inner thigh, opening up that knee as much as comfortable. And just to quickly point out, we're not wide open, but we do want the hips pointing in the same direction. Lengthen through the spine and folding forwards. Gently sliding back up to seated, taking the bent leg, crossing it over the extended leg, sole of the foot to the outside of that right thigh. Wrap the right arm around the knee, left hand behind you, prop yourself up tall and twist. Keeping the sit bone connected to the ground, using that hand behind you to stack the vertebra of the spine, allowing you space to wind it out. If you're not feeling a stretch in your glute, you can try and pull the knee a little closer to the body. And release. We're going to do a last hip flexor stretch. So we're going to place one foot to the center, swing the other foot behind you. So your right foot's next to your bum, and your left foot is on your right thigh, and your left knee is open. You're going to put the hands behind you. Maybe that demonstrates it better. Thank you, thanks. Place the hands behind you. You're just going to lean back. So we're not just going to fall back. We're going to do this with control, starting with a spinal curl. So you're going to tilt the tailbone and curl the lower back to the ground first without the knees lifting. So tailbone tucks, pressing the lower back into the floor. And if that's where you feel your maximum stretch across that hip flexor and thigh, that is where you stay. That's totally okay. If comfortable, or you need the extra stretch, you can drop down onto the elbows, but again, no knees lifting, keep them down. And the more you're putting your tummy in, the more it's going to stretch over that right hip flexor as well. Gently pressing yourself up to seated, all the way up, and we're going to swing the legs around, swapping over to the other side. So left heel alongside the body, right foot to the front of the knee or thigh. Try and get your left sit bone to the floor. Place the hands behind you, tuck the tailbone, and roll your way down. And again, if you'd like to, drop onto your elbows, Tummy is tight, tilting backwards, working the lower spine before the upper back. And then gently pressing yourself up to seated. We're going to place the soles of the feet together. Bring the heels in close towards the body. Interlace the fingers around the feet, sitting up nice and tall. And bend those elbows to the inner thighs or calves. The idea is to get the knees down towards the ground. We're extending through the spine, so the goal is a nice straight spine, lengthening or pulling out of that heart center to pull you forwards. Although chin is slightly tucked in, you can also be pulling out of the crown of the head. Gently release, sending those feet slightly further forward so we have a bit of a bigger diamond. Fingers are still interlaced around those feet. We're going to bend the elbows to the front of the shins and round the back. So the crown of the head in towards the soles of the feet. Curling the spine. And gently release. We're going to bring the knees up parallel to one another. Feet are flat along the ground. Tuck the tailbone. Extend those arms out ahead of you, and we're going to curl down one vertebra at a time. All the way flat onto your back. And then reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, reach the arms forward, curling all the way up as you exhale to seated. Straightening out the spine at the top. And then curling all the way back down onto your back. Arms alongside the body. We're going to extend the legs and take a quick Shavasana. Flopping the feet to the outside corners of the mat. Adjust the shoulder blades so they're flush along the floor. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Relaxing those hips. Closing the eyes. We'll take a few seconds to catch our breaths. Not just catch it, but become more in control of the breathing. In and out through the nose. Filling up the lungs right down into the belly. All that good revitalizing oxygen. Restoring the muscles. Feel the weight of the body melting into the earth, becoming heavy. The hips are relaxed and flopped apart, there's no tension in the hips. The shoulders are really open. The facial features are soft. Let go of your frown or your scowl. Unclench your jaw. This is a stressful time. Just let that stress go in this moment. Gently brushing your fingers along your thumbs along your fingertips. Wiggling out the toes. Gently bringing the sensation back to those extremities. You're going to make tight fists with the hands and fold those fists in towards your wrists and point the toes away from you, activating into those calves. And then lift the toes up towards the face, lengthen the fingers and maybe even fold those hands backwards. And then reach the arms up overhead. Point the toes, lengthen the toes away from the fingers and fingers reach away from the toes. Bring the knees in towards the chest, wrap the arms around the knees, giving yourself a nice big hug as you rock from side to side. Gently allowing yourself to fall over to the left-hand side, using your left arm as a pillow. Right arm drapes gently over the body. Allowing your heart rate and blood pressure to slowly come back to normal. Slowly catching the breath. Gently using the top arm to press you up to seated. Finding yourself in the center of the mat with eyes still closed. You've done all this proprioceptive work. Let's use it as we find our bodies in the center of the mat. You can cross the ankles, and if you'd like to, you can work up into a lotus or half lotus position. Totally up to you. Hands are gently on the knees. You're going to sit the spine up against an imaginary wall. Lengthening tall. Feel the space you've created through your stretches. You're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest. Allow the head to fall forwards. Gentle stretch down the back of the neck in between the shoulder blades. Deep breath in. And exhale. Take a moment to appreciate the effort and energies you put into yourself this morning. For getting up on this chilly morning and working on you. For every little achievement you accomplished today's session, every milestone you broke through, and for every time you listened to your body and were kind enough to not push where your body wasn't ready to go. Take a moment to appreciate that self-love and kindness. Gently fluttering the eyes open to gaze towards the floor. And raise the chin up. Thank you all for joining me this morning. It was a good session. I hope it wasn't too intense. Well, I do hope it was intense, but I hope you managed all right.